Rev up your engines!
Ruslan Z said, hey, did any of the car manufacturers contact you to stop telling the truth about how bad they are? No! You know, I mean, I'm just little Scott, it's just me. And they spend a lot of money advertising, and people buy cars, and they can say it's one main opinion versus the rest. But hey, I've been working on it for 51 years, so I've seen a lot about these cars, you know. I did have a hilarious thing with the guy at a Chevy dealer at the parts department when I was buying some parts because I had to go there. Nobody else sold this particular part for the Malibu I was working on. And I was saying, oh man, these cars are junk. And he looked at me and said, ah, Scotty, yeah, but they're all junk these days like that. And I looked at him and I said, well, not the Hondas. Because I knew that particular dealership, he owned a Chevy dealership, but he also owned a Honda dealership. And the guy who worked there said, well, you know, you're right, because he said, I used to work at the Honda dealership, and we didn't sell all the parts like we do on these Chevys. So he was honest, because he was just talking to me, and there weren't any other customers there. So, you know, even the guys that work there know. Charlie B04, Scotty, what do you think of the 2020 Kia Soul? Just visuals of that thing, I think they look crazy as could be. That they're ugly. But some people like it. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? If you're the type of person who's going to buy that thing and drive it less than 100,000 miles, you might be totally happy with the vehicle. Road test it. See if you like it. See if you like the way that it rides. You want a vehicle that you can drive 200, 300, 400,000 miles? Don't buy the Kia. Buy a Toyota or a Honda. That. If you're one of these guys that's happy with 100,000 miles out of a vehicle and you like them, go ahead and buy one. I got customers that never had any problems the first 100,000 miles with them. Joe Evolution said, what's your opinion on Ford Fusions, preferably the first generation? I actually like the Ford Fusions. That's when Ford owned some of Volvo. And they took a lot of Volvo riding technology. Volvo had good suspension systems, and they applied some of the Ford technology, and they're actually excellent cars. I've had customers with them. I've road tested them. I've rented them when I went places on planes and then rented a car. And I was always happy with one. I just got done with one. I had Maine, and I was real happy with the car. So, you know, I think they're pretty good cars. Of course, the first generation ones are older. You'd have to have one checked out if you were going to buy it. Patrick Malone says, Scotty, I got a Datsun 280Z that hasn't been started in 15 years. Is it worth for me to fix it up as a weekend toy? Well, if you want to spend the time and the energy, okay. It's a 280Z, so that thing's got to be 30-something years old at a minimum. It's a really old car. But people like those cars. The advantage of that is it's one of those inline sixes. So if, say, the fuel injection system was all messed up, it's so old, the parts are worn, yada yada, you could take it off and put a 4-barrel carburetor. They make kits with intake manifolds, so you can greatly simplify the vehicle. And if it's a standard transmission, hey, those things are fun to drive, and they could be fun if you want to mess around with it as a toy. But realize you'll be messing around quite a bit in a car that's that old, because there's a lot of rubber stuff that's going to be rotten. It's going to leak and break, and you're going to have to replace a lot of stuff if you drive it any length of time. Charles, hey Scotty, my transmission shifts hard. Any solutions? Thanks. You gotta have clean fluid, and if it's got a filter like in an American car, you want to change the fluid and filter every 30,000 miles with conventional fluid. And the modern ones, you can get away with every 60, 80,000 miles because they use synthetic fluid. So definitely do that and pray that that helps. If that doesn't help, get a guy like me to scan it with this high-level scan tool, because there can be little codes for the transmission that don't turn the check engine light on, but our fancy equipment can read it. And you would pray it's something like a bad shift solenoid. You still got to drop the bottom pan on the transmission, but you can replace the shift solenoids. Often they're not all that expensive, and pray that that's the problem. A mechanic can test them, see if they're working or not. Now, if it's not that, generally it means the transmission's going out and needs to be rebuilt. But they all are electronically controlled these days. Start with filter and fluid. That doesn't help. Get a guy to scan it and pray that it's a shift solenoid or something, and not the tranny itself going out. Toyota, what would cause an AC condenser fan to work intermittently? I'm assuming you got two systems. You got a fan for the regular and then the AC condenser fan. If it works on and off and on and off, the most common thing is you're just low on refrigerant, because when you're low on refrigerant, that the compressor will cycle on and off too many times. And as it cycles on and off, that automatically turns the AC condenser fan on and off. Now, if your AC compressor is running perfectly fine the whole time, but the fan keeps going on and off, generally it means the fan motor is just burning out and replace the assembly. The aftermarket one's perfect. Work perfectly fine and costs little enough. You can easily do that. Or the AC condenser fan relay could be going bad. Those things usually 30 bucks, 20, 30 bucks. Just put another AC condenser relay on it, just plug in and out, and pray it's something that easy. Adam asks, what's your preference in drying your car after washing? Microfiber towel or chamois? To get it out, not do any damage, don't scratch anything. The chamois, especially the synthetic ones and full leather ones, will dry your car perfectly fine. You got to keep squeezing them and stuff, but they generally build up more dirt, and the purists don't like them. The problem with a microfiber towel is you have to have quite a few big ones to dry a car because they're going to get wet fast. When you're done, you're better off putting them in a washing machine, drying them for the next time. So you got to have all these towels lying around. Most guys, they just say, a chamois is good enough. Now, you go to the fancy car wash places, you see usually they're using towels, but if you ever watch them, they keep using the same towels over and over, and the dirt that came off one car is going to go on your car, so it's a real pain in the butt. But if you do it yourself, it's your own car, so you want to buy enough microfiber towels, go ahead, wash them after you use them, dry them, and then use them over the next time. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.